Hello everybody, my name is Lord Battora, and today I'm going to take you on an adventure. A magical adventure full of love, action, and romance. We're going to follow a princess, an ice princess named Lily, on her grand adventure to stop the evil Emperor of Ice, Arctos, as he tries to take over the neighboring peaceful villages. She'll face trials and tribulations on her journey, like giant Nazi polar bears and a ladybug. But she's not alone. Along with her trusty sidekick Polar Bear, whose name I can't remember, she will conquer all sorts of vicious evils in order to save the world. Because after all, this movie is about her, Ice Princess Lily. Oh, what's that? None of the clips I showed has her in it? Oh. Now, as you can tell by the cover, it's pretty much trying to bank off of Frozen's success. This movie was released in 2019 I believe it was December, but it streamed in November before that, I guess. It's something. There's something worth taking note of here. We're gonna endure this together. We're gonna look at what happens in this grand adventure starring the main character, Ice Princess Lily. If any of that sounds interesting to you, trust me, it only gets more interesting. So sit back, relax, grab a drink. Here we go, let's get into this.
Many moons ago, Greenland and Iceland lived in perfect peace and harmony, protected by mighty dragons who were revered by all.
We start off with like an opening narration of the world that explains the world around us that we are interacting with, that we are watching. And we find out that this story takes place in the fictional world of Greenland and Iceland. And that's where our movie starts. This Lord of the Rings style opening narration of the lore of this world. We see two dragons running away from what can only be assumed to be the villain based on his evil laughter. We have Dad Dragon and Mom Dragon. It looks like Mom Dragon's holding an egg. And he's like, "Go! I'll keep you safe." To which he immediately fails. "Go, I'll cover you." Immediately afterwards. Doesn't cover her. Good job. What was that? So he can't use his fire breath. Why? Don't know. Maybe we'll learn in the future. Maybe he ran out. He presumably gets captured or dies to the giant cloud right there. So we get introduced to another character. So this character, his name is Kulk, sorry. He is just picking flowers, picking herbs that look like butterflies, but they're plants, I guess. We have Mom Dragon. She bumps into the bird and says, "Hey, this is my baby egg. You gotta take care of it now. It's your responsibility. I'm dying. I'm out. See you later." She dies. There's no sugarcoating it, so that's pretty fun. But that's how it starts. We got a Disney orphan. Always a strong start to an animated movie, if you ask me. You know, good job. We have an orphan. With her dying breath, she utters what the child's name is. And it's
Tabaluga.
Tabaluga. That is quite the name. That's a very complex name, if you ask me. But you know what? It's your decision. You can name a dragon whatever you want. You also find out that when she died, she left a note that says, "Tabaluga, find your fire. Beware of Iceland." Now, that's pretty straightforward, but they don't seem to see it, at least for now. We have a sequence where he's waiting and waiting for the egg to hatch, and we get this lovely scene. Gross. I don't like that. Just look at him. Look at his weird little feet and hand. I don't like it. He just kind of grosses me out. Those hands are too human for a dragon. Tabaluga acknowledges the bird as his parent and he can walk straight out of the egg, and he can jump straight out of the egg. You know, that's pretty impressive for a newborn. That's all that really happens. They bond a little bit, But then we get this.
I'm a crazy little dragon doing things that grown-ups won't do.
That's right. It's a musical. I was not ready for that. Every single song seems to be an original song, from what I can tell anyway.
Little dragons always wanna do what little dragons do.
He's just a crazy little dragon doing things that crazy little dragons do. Some beautiful lyrics there. I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but in the middle of it, there's this one part where he's learning how to fly and whatnot, and he's not the most graceful, and you got this ladybug who's making fun of him, and he gets stuck in a spider web. The spider is going to eat the ladybug. He's going to kill him, which immediately leaves me to question the ethics of the world, because Tabaluga saves him, right? He saves the ladybug, he plucks him from the spider web and saves his life, and then he becomes his best friend. That's like the dragon's sidekick for the rest of the movie. He's like just a best friend buddy type of character. And his name is Bully. The best friend's name is Bully, which, okay, whatever. I do have a question about this. Since the bird can talk and the ladybug can talk, I'm gonna guess that the spider can talk as well. And that spider is just a freaking murderer, right? That's what it seems like. I haven't seen the dragon try to devour anything yet. He didn't, like, pick the ladybug and then go, more for me. No, he just saves him from the spider who was gonna murder him. And it leads me to wonder, is there any moral code in this animal kingdom of talking animals? Or does everyone just kind of understand that sometimes we devour each other? Is that just like a socially acceptable thing where it's like, there's the deer walking around and then the lion shows up and then deer's like, oh shit, here we go again. Guess it's my turn, huh?
I can't fly properly. I can't spit fire. I'll never be a real dragon.
So we learned that Tabaluga can't breathe fire yet. He still can't do a lot of the dragon things that you think of epic dragons can do, like fly around, have giant strong claws, breathe fire that can incinerate a whole town like Smaug does. You know, the traditional dragon stuff. But he can't do any of it, and the woodland creatures are making fun of him for it. So we find out that all the woodland creatures, they play pranks on him. They keep on trying to teach him how he can use his fire. They're telling him like, oh, go eat the spiky plant over there. And since he's a stupid dragon, he does.
You're not actually considering it, are you?
What? No, of course not.
Good, because that would be the stupidest, most idiotic... And now he's gonna scream. On 3. 1...
That had to be the most convincing scream I have ever seen. And everyone knows that you go like this when you've eaten something that injures you. And I have to point this out again. His freaking human-shaped body just disturbs me. Look at how ugly his design is. His hands resting at his side. His, like, oval pear body that makes his design kind of ugly. I really don't like it.
That was funny. Can Tabaluga do that again?
Can Tabaluga do that again?
That's what I think of when I think of a young rabbit's voice. I think, hey, can he do that again? So he goes back home and talks to Culk and just mopes around, whining that he will never be a real dragon.
Where are my herbs?
There were some, complications.
What kind of complication?
What was that? What are you implying with that? He's like gonna sit down, but then he stops as if there's like something spiky stuck to his ass. It's either that or he's getting ready to dance at the club. Crowdad sits down, he tells him to be patient and that he'll find his fire, but he just keeps on whining that he'll never find his fire, and he goes to pick up the herbs at the Standing Stone, which is where his mom left him and left that little note, and we get another song on the way. Please stop. I really didn't need to have a ladybug making that face and kind of just humping the air while he does it. I didn't need that.
I gotta be some luck. There's just no doubt about it. You see the world as black. I see a million covers. I've never been a bad mood.
I hate Bully. He is so annoying throughout all of this. He's never in a bad mood. That's the type of friend who's just a total a-hole forever. It's like you're having an awful day and he's like, yeah, but I'm not in a bad mood, so why doesn't that make you happy?
I think that life is great.
He tried to murder you! That spider, a song ago, tried to eat you! What is the rules of this world? He's okay with it. That's what it has to be. It's like, if you get eaten, it's just, oh well, that's just the way it goes. We understand each other. We understand that at some point, chances are we're gonna get killed by a predator. Also, by the way, this is the face of the audience the whole time this ladybug is singing.
And I can live on grass when nothing's on my plate.
And now the goat tried to murder him! It must be okay to eat other animals in this world. Because the spider wanted to murder him, the goat tried to murder him, and if I was there, I would try to murder him because he's so freaking annoying! So they make it to the stone, where his mom left a message, and they find that it is now conveniently covered in moss, where it only shows half of the message, and it says, Tabaluga, fire, Iceland. And like any other sane person, they think that that means that they have to go to Iceland for him to learn how to breathe this fire. Bully also says, no, wait a second, we shouldn't go there because the Icelanders are monsters. But Tabaluga decides to go anyway, because what good is a dragon without his fire? And I would argue otherwise, but when you're as ugly as Tabaluga, I can't disagree. They cross the border, across the giant clouds, and they make it to Iceland. They wander around a little bit after just taking in the views of the snow, and you're then introduced to the polar bear military, who are just walking around, I guess. Maybe they're scouting the border, you know, they don't want anyone from Greenland coming over. Greenland doesn't do the same, even though they think Iceland is a land full of monsters. And these are polar bears, so they would definitely devour every single creature before. What else is the polar bear going to eat? They're carnivores. They're going to eat those rabbits so fast. They hide under the cliff and he comes up over it, and it's literally like a one-for-one recreation of the Lord of the Rings scene. And they decide that it's too dangerous in Iceland, we have to leave. Bug is all about doing that, and Tabaluga is gonna follow, but he pauses because he hears something. So they wander around a little bit trying to find the source, and it turns out the source is the girl on the cover! There she is! Skating around barefooted and singing in the style of Ariel from The Little Mermaid with all of her ahs and all that. So it's just the pure voice, and he's watching her, making a face that makes me very uncomfortable. I don't like it. And then he falls off a cliff and dies. I wish. Instead, they crash right into the girl, who is rightfully upset because she could have died there. And then this happens. I didn't edit that music in. Based on the music and the prolonged stare, we can conclude that Dragon is infatuated with her, which is a little weird. Like, it makes me uncomfortable. He then tells her that she's beautiful, she sings beautiful. He just basically says that everything she is beautiful. And then he falls down and the snow falls off, revealing that he isn't a snow monster like I guess she thought. And she finds out that he's a dragon! He's actually a dragon! Then she tells him that she's been waiting for him all of his life, which is a little weird, but not as weird as what happens when they touch.
What is that?
What is that, do you ask?
Dragon magic.
It's dragon magic. Of course, you idiot. What else could it be? It's dragon magic. Everyone knows when you touch a dragon, it's dragon magic. What does it do? I don't know. Will they ever explain it? No, they won't. They'll never explain what dragon magic is or what it does. But what we do know is Arctos, who was mentioned in the beginning, says that that always happens, that dragons do this sparkly dragon magic thing. At least that's what he told Lily. And Lily insists that they go and see him. However, Tabaluga insists, saying that the Greenlanders say that Arctos is a monster. But Lily says that he's actually their protector, that he protects them from the Greenlanders. And then she decides to introduce them to her best friend Polar Bear, whose name I can't remember, but he clearly has some sort of issue.
A dragon? Really? Oh, I gotta see this with my very own ears. Can you really breathe fire? Oh, please. Please.
Okay.
What the hell was that face for? It looks like he's giving birth right now. Breathe. That's right. Breathe. And push! She once again insists on bringing them to Arctos. And when the bug asks, how can we trust her? This is their response.
Would she lie to us?
Trust me.
Why should we trust you? You can trust me. I'm attractive. That's basically what it came down to. That's Dragon's reasoning, and that's her reasoning. On their journey to see Arctos, this is basically just a huge time filler thing. They just walk all the way over there. Dragon exclusive strat to make Lily fall in love with him is to repeatedly tell her she's beautiful left and right. That's their relationship basically at this point. When they finally get to the castle, this giant snow castle, we get introduced to Arctos.
What's the fuss all about?
I actually kind of like this character. She tells Arctos that she found a dragon, and he promptly insists that they follow them inside, which they do, of course, because why not trust the giant, evil-looking snowman? Arctos convinces Tabaluga to follow by telling him that his fire's in the basement, basically. And Tabaluga says, I believe you. That makes sense. They also show off this little penguin who's like his sidekick. And I actually like him quite a bit. He's pretty funny. Most of the time, he made me laugh. So Arctos leads Tabaluga into the basement. Arctos then leads him to a chasm where we see this.
Dragons!
That's right, hundreds of corpses of other dragons. And in case you're wondering if they're like going to thaw out magically by the end of the movie and not be dead, no, that doesn't happen. They're dead. They are dead forever. They're dead dragons. So Tabaluga, like the genius he is, figures out that Arctos is the one who murdered his parents, and Arctos admits it. But little does he know that Lily and friends followed them, so they're listening right now. And that's where we get to the strangest revelation.
So I created some irresistible dragon bait to lure you in.
Dragon bait?
Yes, you might know it by the name Lily.
What?
Now, that sounds like Arctos created Lily, that she was created by Arctos for the sole purpose of trapping and luring Tabaluga. She was created as dragon bait. Why a human? Why isn't it like just an ice dragon, like a lady dragon? No, just a lady, actually. Upon learning this knowledge that she was created by Arctos, she understandably questions her existence, although she only can't believe that she trusted Arctos this whole time. She didn't question that he is literally her creator, which leads me to this question. Why isn't she also evil? Like, the bear army and the penguin are also evil. Like, they're all in on his plans. So why would he create her with an opposite morality? I want you to think that we love dragons, even though my polar bear army and evil penguin sidekick, they're all about killing the last dragon. But anyway, this leads us to the best song in the whole movie. That's right, we get a villain song.
I am a god, and you were born to follow. I am worse than the devil, I'm so mean. I can turn the fires of hell to steam. I am as ancient as the ice that froze before the world had life. My black is blacker than the night. I am the devil in white.
I unironically like this one. Through this whole process of watching it a couple times and writing out a script and figuring out these parts that I specifically want to react and share with you, this was the song that was stuck in my head the whole time. Not only do I like it because Arctos is so unapologetically evil, but he straight up claims to be an ancient eldritch god who existed before the world even had life, and that he is more wicked than the devil himself. That's pretty badass. For a villain, I like him quite a bit, actually. His design isn't even too bad, and also, he is the best singer, and the song is the best out of any of them. Even the lyrics are a little bit more creative and like engaged, where I can buy into this unapologetically evil snowman who says that he is straight up a god. The thing is, he's not lying, clearly, because he created life. He made Lily, right? So he freezes Tabaluga entirely and is going to finally erase the one and only remaining threat, the only one who can challenge his power. But then he sees a ladybug, so he has to go and chase it, because, you know, why not? I guess he's afraid if he kills the last dragon first and removes the only obstacle of total power, the rest of his eternal existence might not be long enough to catch the ladybug. Just imagine if this were the Avengers and Thanos is about to do the snap, but then he sees a ladybug and is like,
Just hang on a minute. I'll get right back to that.
Lily runs up to Tabaluga, feeling bad. She hugs the Frozen statue, who I also want to point out, they rip off Frozen here also with the pose and the magic hug thawing him out. And we also get this one shot, which she is kind of uncanny and scary looking. He also asks how she did that. And she's just like,
I don't know.
Ladybug comes back because he and the bear are dumb, and Arctos sees that he's not frozen anymore. Then chases him for a while. They chase him until they escape, but uh-oh, there's a cliff, and he can't fly well because he's a crappy dragon. So she tells him to go and leave her behind, but he says, no, I'm not going to leave you behind. He tosses her on her back, and then jumps off the cliff and dies. I wish. No. Luckily, now that Tabaluga has a woman riding him, his wings grew bigger, and oh, that sounds kind of dirty, doesn't it? They fly around for a while until Arctos chases them again, but they make it over to Greenland, where Arctos can't follow because it's too warm. So they fly around a little bit longer, and he introduces her to the Greenlanders and explains what they were told about Icelanders was wrong this whole time, that Icelanders are just like Greenlanders, except they're polar bears and they will definitely eat all of these woodland creatures. Arctos tells the Icelanders that the dragon actually kidnapped Lily, who apparently is beloved by all, I guess, even though we haven't seen anything to indicate that. But Arctos tells them that they need to go to war to get her back and kill the last dragon because he kidnapped her. And they were all just like, yep, that makes sense. So Arctos sends his polar bear Nazi army to invade by putting snow on the ground, I guess. And so Coke tells Dragon to go to the swamp and talk to Nisaya because she knows everything. Dragon asks why he wasn't told of this before. And Coke says it's because you can only ask her something once. So he had to know it was the right time. So he's gonna go. He wants Lily to go with her, but she calls him a coward and that he is afraid to go by himself, and he storms off. But it turns out she was only being mean so she could turn herself in without him stopping her. But first, she has to sing an awful song.
This day on, I put my heart on hold. I walk away as if it's nothing.
So not only is like the audio change where it very clearly sounds like she's in a different room and not outside when she's singing, but they do this other weird thing in this song. When Dragon is looking for Nisaya, they show shots of it. They cut away from her singing to him running around the swamp, but they keep his audio in, like the song is playing, but he's talking over it. Why would you do that? If you wanted me to be emotionally invested in the song, don't just shove Messiah right there in the middle of it. Can you imagine if other movies did that? And I will always love you. Will always love you. Do you mind? This is also where she confirms that they are both in fact in love with each other, even though it has been less than a day. And she's a human, not a dragon.
And I would do it all again, 'cause it was love that we were drinking.
I hate it. Anyway, Dragon finally finds Messiah, who ends up being Discount Oogway from Kung Fu Panda, who tells him his fire is inside of him after making some fake deep statements. She's just kind of annoying. But the only thing more annoying than that is Dragon once again complaining forever about her not just granting him his fire, even though she straight up told him where his fire was. He says, your fire's inside of you. You gotta find it within yourself. But he just like, she didn't tell me. She's an idiot old turtle. He leaves and finds out that Lily turned herself into Arctos, and for some reason she's being treated like a criminal now. Also, this bear has apparently, he's seen some shit. Just want to point that out. Tabaluga then hears that Lily was taken and decides to go after her, and then Kulk then sings the last song.
There's sun in your heart and ice in your soul. Passion so strong, it takes total control.
This one just feels tonally wrong. Like, I can't really explain it. It's like melodramatic for no reason. Passion so strong, it takes total control. We haven't seen anything resembling passion come from this dragon from the start. This dragon complains, and that's about it.
Between two worlds is a place that I secretly fly. In another dimension, 'cause we have already discovered the sky.
Once again, the tone. It even hits a part where I thought the song was ending, but then it picks up and even goes on longer.
5 and 6.
We're constantly seeking a better life.
So he reveals the whole message that says, beware of Iceland instead of fire in Iceland, which I guess is supposed to be some kind of revelation, but it doesn't really ever get brought up again, so I don't know. I don't know why it's there. It has no effect on anything, literally.
Addicted to pleasure, afraid of the pain.
Really? Addicted to pleasure, afraid of the pain? What the hell are the lyrics talking about anymore? Is it just me? But when you go around talking about passion and being addicted to pleasure, it sounds sexual. It makes me so uncomfortable. This weird tone is throughout the whole movie. So the song goes on far too long, and it cuts with Dragon flying just outside of Arctos' castle, where he is setting up Lily as a trap.
Seat.
There's so much grunting in this scene. Oh! Oh! What's with these responses? There's just a lot of grunting.
How could you do this to me? Ugh, I trusted you.
And I made you.
Once again, confirming that Arctos has the power to create life. I personally like to think that Arctos is actually Olaf after the world of Frozen, like it's in the distant future. Like it's so far into the future that it became just ancient history, and it turns out that he secretly had all of Elsa's powers, so like he can create life, and then he like does a Uno reverse card on her by creating sentient life, but as a snowman, and he just kind of goes mad with power. Let's face it, he's stupid, so if he had tons of power, he'd probably go mad with it anyway, so I like to think that.
You monster!
Who, me? I'm a cute, cuddly snowman.
Who, me? I'm just a cute, cuddly snowman. Like, what was that? That just kind of comes out of nowhere. But honestly, dang, Arctos thick, right? So immediately after that scene where Arctos sets the trap, Dragon walks right into the trap. Like, it's literally the next scene. It just happens so fast. Like, maybe make the trap set a little bit before, or maybe put it before the song, and he's stuck, and he's gonna get murked by that snowman. But the fat polar bear falls through the roof and almost kills them himself. But luckily, they dodge just in time, so they don't die. They don't become flat pancakes from the polar bear. We go on another chase sequence until we get to the entrance where Arctos reveals that he also has psychic powers. He closes the gates with just mental energy. I'm telling you, he actually is a god, like he says. Then it's battle time, but Dragon loses pretty quickly, and Lily gets trapped. But Dragon says, take me first.
You can have me! Eliminate me! Destroy me!
Ha! I wish! No, Arctos decides he wants to kill Lily first instead. Then this happens. Wow, that dramatic slow-mo effect. Boy, did that really amp up the epicness of that moment, right? And then second, wow, that was anticlimactic fire. That was the least climactic fire breath I think I've ever seen. It wasn't even intentional, it was an accident. Better be careful around him, because 1 second could be normal conversation, and then the next 5, oh geez, oh I'm sorry, I just can't, it just happens sometimes, I can't control it. So sorry, I burned your family. So they fight again, but Dragon has fire now, so Dragon is gonna win. But Arctos decides to crush the whole castle down on them. He just decides to break it and it's all crumbling, which is pretty resourceful, honestly. Arctos is clearly the big brain play. The Dragon tries to free Lily, to which she responds properly by moaning sexually. But he fails, and the castle crushes her, and she dies. No, I wish. But before we know that, Arctos attacks Dragon once more. But uh-oh, fire's gone! Arctos is gonna kill Dragon finally, but unfortunately, Lily flies out of nowhere and steals Arctos' hat, which is either just his eyes, or it's his true body, or something like that. I don't know. Now that his girlfriend is alive, he has his fire of passion, or whatever it is, back, and he defeats Arctos and sends him sailing, literally. But he vows to be back, leaving an opening for a sequel.
I knew it. Dragon magic.
No. Our magic.
Ugh. Also, they never explain what the hell dragon magic is, or what it does, other than thaw out a frozen dragon. It just kind of sparkles. I also want to point out that the reason why he gets his fire back is because a dragon's greatest strength is his heart, and it's also his greatest weakness. They say that a second ago before he gets his fire breath back, and once he sees Lily's alive, he's like, oh, I gotta protect Lily again, I can do it. Then he can breathe fire. And he's strong enough to melt Arctos. I also love, since his parents united couldn't stop Arctos, I guess mommy and daddy just didn't love each other that much. They just didn't love each other enough to defeat Arctos. Or him! They both didn't love Tabaluga enough either. Sorry, Tabaluga, but dad didn't care about you or mom enough for his fire breath to defeat Arctos. Lol. Then we fly around for a while. We see that Greenland and Iceland magically get along now, despite years of discrimination. They fly around happily with their little happily ever after. They even fly through a fiery heart, passionately in love. And then they say this.
At last, they're all coming together.
Like us.
Finally, they're all coming together, just like us. Why? I hate them. Don't say that! You can't say that! Don't say that! Somebody has to tell them. I'm not gonna tell them. Somebody has to, though. That's like the freaking last line of the movie, and that would be the end, but they have one last shot of Nisaya and Kulk. They tell some stupid jokes to end the movie, and they're laughing. But this begs the question, why the hell can you only ask Nisaya one question? Because to me, it seems like she just invented that rule. Just to be a jerk. Nisaya's just a jerk. Then we get some credits where it says the movie was based on an idea. Not a very well thought out idea, clearly. And that's the end of the movie. Wow, that was strange. I have watched this far too many times in the process of making this video. I would end it there, but I have to throw a couple more tidbits about this movie. It was originally a German film, and then it was translated. It had a US release, which happened in December 2019. It's actually not called Ice Princess Lily anywhere else. It's called Tabaluga. Now, even on the back of the disc, it says Global Screen presents Tabaluga. Then why'd you call it Ice Princess Lily? She's not even a princess. Arctos just made her as dragon bait. They even took the picture, the cover art. They took the original cover art, took the same face, and then CG'd a ice crown on her that she never wears in the movie. She's not an ice princess. The US marketing team was just like, nobody will like this trash. Better just call it Frozen and see if we can get a couple bucks that way. And why that is kind of stupid to me is because it's not like it was the most incompetent story I've ever seen. Visually, it is competent enough, even though like some of the water just seems like jelly and there's some visual things that aren't the greatest. But there was some competent designs. Like I liked Arctos, I liked the penguins and the Greenlanders and all that. In fact, the worst design of all is the main characters, is Tabaluga and Lily. First off, just don't make her a freaking human. It doesn't make any sense. And second, make him look like a cool dragon, not an ugly-ass dragon with these weird, creepy human hands and feet. But anyway, I saw this movie. I thought it was just some cheap money-grubbing thing. Lily doesn't even show up until, like, 20 minutes into the film. They called it Ice Princess Lily. What it should have been called Green fucking Dragon Tabaluga. There is one more note to that I want to point out. Since this was German, I looked up some statistics on it, and this was actually based on a character that a singer made. I can't remember his name. The character Tabaluga is based on those songs. But before this movie, there was a cartoon series on it, and I didn't even watch any of that or anything, but there was a cartoon series and like some specials and stuff. So that blew my mind too, and that was in like the 90s. So we might have to check that out later. He was a known character, and with like 78 episodes of his own show called Tabaluga. That was Ice Princess Lily. I wanted to find the numbers for you to see how much money it cost to make it also, but I couldn't find it. All we know is it made about 5 million globally, so that's not that impressive. I do think that this movie could have been improved overall if they had taken a little bit more of time to sprucing up on the characters, on the plot, maybe. But I don't want to do a full 2-hour-long video on how to fix it either. Like, there's a couple things, like make him whine a little bit less. There's just a lot of filler in it, and the songs are pretty bad. Just make it about, like, friendship or something instead of literal romance where the dragon wants to do the human and vice versa. Just don't do that, please. I'm really sick of having shots of the dragon looking like that. There it is for ya. I had to endure it, now you had to endure it, and now you understand. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please smash like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell to be notified for future uploads and streams. And with that, I hope you have an excellent day, night, whatever time you're watching this. Bye-bye. I believe that the heart does go. Would you shut up? Jimmy?